He closed his eyes for a count of 10, savoring the moment. He might have acclaim, power, a decent throne, and twin desks, but in his heart, a well-worn saddle with one of his golds was what he longed for. On horseback, he was complete. Love every good day you get. Enjoy the peace. Accept that for the moment things around you are not exploding. Even the weather conspired to make him happy today. Exactly the right temperature, just a bit of a breeze, and a nearly cloudless sky. An inky wave of little black songbirds flowed with that breeze, and alighted along a roofline by the hundreds, unhurriedly chirping their songbird conversations with each other, like flautists practicing flutter-tongue. And if the scents here were not always those of flowers, well, that was the hazard of being an agrarian leader, the vast majority of whose wealth lay in the horses inside and outside this wall, and a good 1,000 head of livestock. He'd definitely smelled worse. He'd escaped worse. Midweek day. The imperial military form of marking time was brutal in its simplicity. The emperor's scribes had been burdened with writing out flowery, elaborate calendar dates to please their nobles, but the military worked quickly. Short commands, ranks visible, flags distinctive, and days? First day, second day, third day, midweek, fourth day, and so on. Quartus's policies left the months' names alone, but adopted the simple military shorthand for all Valdemarans to employ. They were busy people here. Nobody had the spare time to write out 16th day of sunrise celebration in the height of His Imperial Majesty's spring rise of fertility, as recognized by His Majesty's loyal and mighty appointed governor of the fecund vastness of the realm, on a document. Day, week, month, year, and done. And the year, of course, began at 1, the year they had all escaped. He had read the cardinal dispatches, summaries of notable issues divided by the compass points around the court, over a relaxed breakfast. His true midweek day always began here at the stables. It was a wonder they even had stables, but that was because Quartus, by virtue of having the largest household in the barony, had the most available manpower to build them. And the only reason they had that manpower to use to build stables was because something other than humans had built the enormous manor that he and most of his highborn nobles lived in. That something had been a mysterious thing that lived half in the plane where magic was more abundant than in the material plane, and half in the soil of the former Hawk Brother Vale. The Hawk Brothers called it a mother, and not even they knew what its actual overall shape was. He would keep that a secret from his people, who would be unsettled by knowing that their city was built upon a vast creature that consumed whatever was fed to it. He glanced back over his shoulder at the manor, which was not impressive by imperial standards, but was far more than he thought they'd have been able to manage on their own. 4 stories tall above ground, with the same amenities of sanitation and water, heating and cooling he had been accustomed to back home, and all grown straight out of the soil. He'd watched it grow and marveled. Now, it was true he could have had an imperial manor. It would just take the efforts of a dozen mages working together for about 6 months, powerful ones at that. But he could not, in good conscience, even though he'd saved the mages under his protection from being dragooned into service to the Empire, have asked them to do that. Not when there were upward of 15,000 people who had followed him out of the Empire. They trusted and believed in his wisdom, enough to leave ancestral lands to go into the wilderness, and through dangers that had literally been unimaginable to them. They needed homes, clean water, sanitation, vermin control, food, and farms, and, well, everything they had known in their lives until then that had been a matter of paying some money and receiving finished goods, including shelter. And the mages could help with that instead of giving Quartus and the court a fancier dwelling. In fact, the now